Hey everybody, this is Allison with Safety Education Specialist, and I wanted to pop on real quick because the American Heart Association that we use for most of our training has released a new product to training centers that I know is going to eventually find its way. Probably, I'd say within the next 30 days, you're going to see this start to pop up with your local training centers as an option for you to get your Heartsaver training, your first aid, CPR, and AED 100% virtually. And I have some thoughts about this. So, before I share with you everything that's going on with that, let me just kind of give a little bit of a background here. So, this class, the Heartsaver series of classes, is meant for people who are not in healthcare. So, we're talking about just normal people who just want to learn CPR, AED, and first aid, which is great. We're talking about people who work in childcare, so daycare workers, even some teachers, depending on what state you're in, have to have this class. Now, at the beginning of the pandemic, I would have completely agreed with doing something entirely virtually. And in fact, at the beginning, the Heart Association did come out with guidelines for training centers and training sites and instructors, which said that yes, we can provide training online. And first, it was we can teach the class online, but you, the student, have to have the mannequins and everything. We've got to get those supplies to you so we can watch you through the camera on Zoom and check your skills. Perfectly fine. That worked out well. Then Heart Association changed it and said, okay, we're going to make it so that if you do the virtual training, you have to have the person do the online part one first, which you purchase from the Heart Association, and still you can do the kind of virtual skills check with the instructor, where we check your skills and watch you through the camera. So now they have come out with a third iteration. Now, that being said, they have not eliminated as of today, and today's April 7th, 2022, so we'll see what happens. They have not eliminated instructors being able to do with the student taking the online part and then coming and seeing us for our skills. They haven't eliminated that, but instead they've made this here. Why is it not? There we go. Come on, scroll up. There we go. Good. Okay, so they have now launched this product called the Heartsaver First Aid CPR AED Virtual Training Bundle. Now, this is only available to training centers. So, what that means is a training center has to order this, and then it can be distributed to a student. And usually that happens either from the training center itself and their instructors to the students, or in the case of like my clients, because I'm a training site under a training center, it would be distributed from the training center to me and then from me to you. So the price you see there on the screen, that $71.50 to $96.50, is the cost to the training center. So think of that like a wholesale price. If you were buying something wholesale with the intent to resell it, the way this works is the seller has to increase that price. So right now, if I'm purchasing an e-card from my training center, which by the way, when you take a CPR class, your instructor has had to already purchase their certification, and that costs us money. And the fee for that is set by the training center, not by the American Heart Association. The American Heart Association sets the price that the training center pays, and the training center can then decide how much to charge the training site. And depending on the training center and your agreement with them, that can vary. So that's why classes, that's one reason why they cost what they do. So in this case, if you were to look at this, you're getting $71.50 to $96.50 is the cost to the training center. And what does this include? This includes the online course. It includes the e-card. It includes the training kit, okay, which includes adult, child, and a feedback app access, or adult, child, and infant with feedback access. It's a mini and mannequin, an AED simulator, a pair of non-latex gloves, 4 gauze pads, and a gauze roll. Now here's the first problem I see. So with the first aid class, you have to have epinephrine auto-injector training. And one of the skills checks that I have to do is I have to watch you use an epinephrine auto-injector training pen in order to give you the certification. So if this already isn't coming with that, that means that when I receive this product, so let's say the training center is going to order some of these, and then they're going to have to ship it to me because it's a physical product now because it has the mannequin and everything else. So I'm going to get that physical product in the mail. I'm going to get it, and then I'm going to have to put in one of my own EpiPen trainers, and then I have to package it up and I have to ship it to you, the student. Okay, are we seeing the problem here? So now we've had to pay for not just the base price of the product. Now I've had to pay for shipping to get the product to the instructor, and then I have to pay for shipping again to get it to the student. And then I'm going to have to pay for shipping back because I need my EpiPen trainer back. So that's a lot more money added on now. Are we seeing where this is going? Another issue that I see here is the feedback app, because the mannequins that I use and that most trainers use have lights built into the shoulder. So when you're pushing hard enough and fast enough, you see the lights. But in order for it to be a valid certification, I have to see some kind of feedback saying you're pushing hard enough and fast enough. So the solution the Heart Association came up with is an app that you have to download to your phone, which uses the phone's camera. So you have to line that up, and the camera's watching how fast you're pushing on the mannequin, does the calculation, and tells me, your instructor, if you're pushing hard enough and fast enough. Problem with that, unfortunately, in my own experience with the Heart Association apps for phones and the experiences of my students with apps for phones, it hasn't been very positive. Right now, if I log onto the instructor network, even just here as a regular website, it would tell me that they're aware of intermittent issues that can affect performance and they're working on it. That message has been there for months now. And apparently the Heart Association still hasn't figured out what these intermittent issues are or figured out how to fix them. Their eBooks app to download and look at your book before you come to class, I've heard nothing but complaints about that from students. It doesn't work right. It crashes the system. It has to be uninstalled and reinstalled. It doesn't work. So frankly, in my own opinion, experience, the thought of having to download another app from the American Heart Association to do a CPR class doesn't seem like a very good idea to me. It seems like this is going to be a recipe for problems. So now we have the kit. The training center bought the kit for their price. They upcharged whatever they're going to upcharge to me, the instructor, to get the kit. They shipped it to me. Now I took it and I shipped it to you, the student. Now I have to take time with you and we have to set up a Zoom meeting or something similar. I've got to get that on my calendar. I've got to get it on your calendar. I've got to send you all the links for that. Then when we're on that Zoom call, that's when I give you the QR code that you can scan through your camera, or I send you a link where you download the app. And then you have to go through setting up the app on your phone. So you have to download it, you have to open it, you have to register it, and then you have to properly align it so you can see what you're doing with the mannequin. In my estimation, that's going to take about 30 minutes just to get that set up and ready to go. Okay, that's going to be the average. Then we're going to get into the actual skills. And this is on top of you as a student having to have already taken the online course, which can take several hours depending on this. So we now have several hours invested in this, plus several days of shipping back and forth and things like that. So this is a long process now. Then we get to the skills part. Then we go through, let's say the app works perfectly and I can see the feedback on my end and everything looks great. Awesome, we're fine, we're done. Then you have to repackage that EpiPen and send it back to me. This is going to be expensive. I ran the numbers as like an odd crunch to see what I would end up charging a student for a skills check if we did it this way using this product, and I could not see myself charging any less than $200 to do this, which frankly is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's borderline, in my opinion, stupid. I don't know what they're trying to do with this. So let's go in here and let's find out how much it's going to cost you right now to do a skills check with me. And let's say you're going to come in and see me. I do one-on-one appointments in my in-home office. I have an area that is reserved for just me and my students. It's cleaned, it's disinfected. I do air circulation here, all the kind of good stuff. But it's one-on-one, so it's about as private as you can get right now. And again, where we are, April of 2022, Most of the country is in the green zone per the CDC for transmission. So we're not having to wear masks in public any longer. Unless you're going into an active healthcare setting, you're not wearing masks pretty much at all unless you choose to. So let's see what it would be if we were just going to do you take your online part one and then you come see me for your skills check. So we're going to sign in to onlineaha.org, and this is the portal. Actually, it's elearning.heart.org, but I'm old. I still go online AHA. Anyway, this is your portal that you would go to for the Heart Association to get your online part one. So we're going to go here. We're going to say Heartsaver training. Let's search and see what we come up with and see what their current price is for this. So right now, you as a student would pay the Heart Association $19.50 for the online portion. Okay. Now let's think back to that first price. Okay. And this was that much. So $20 of that is the online part. Okay. That's really not too bad. You're going to pay me as your instructor. You're going to pay me $80 right now for your skills check. Again, this is April of 2022. And that number comes from a couple of things. That comes from my time, because I'm going to be with you one-on-one. For my Heartsaver skill students, I reserve a full hour of my time for setup, actual session, and then cleanup and disinfection. So that's my time. That's the fee I have to pay to my training center for the certification. That's the supplies I have to provide for you. And then, of course, it's a portion of what I have to pay to have access to be an instructor. So I'd say profit that I make for that time comes out to about $20. That's what I pocket from that. So that's my hourly wage that I am paid to provide this. I cannot see going to any of my students and saying, hi, yeah, if you want to do this virtual thing, it's going to be $200. I can't see that happening. I can't. Now, what do I do right now if I have a student who says, I really do want to do this completely virtually? How would I do that? I've had that happen. Okay, I do have some students of mine that are in situations where they do have to be a little more cautious about transmissible issues, which is fine. We work with that. So what I have is I actually have a special set of mannequins that I've held aside for those cases. And if they're local-ish to me and I can drive the mannequins to them, I do that. I charge them the federal rate per mile, and then I charge them my hourly fee, which is the $20 that I pay myself an hour. I charge them that to drop off the mannequins, and then I charge them that to go pick up the mannequins. So we're up to I see the most I've ever charged somebody for that whole thing has been like $45 all told. If they want to come and pick up the mannequins from me, it's just one charge of $20, I say, to rent the mannequins. And that's them coming to pick it up, and then they drop it off when they're done. Wonderful. They can choose. And then it's the same fee for the skills. And of course, they pay for the online through the Heart Association. So it ends up being really not that expensive to just do it locally. I just don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand why the Heart Association has put this thing out here. Why on earth did somebody think this was a good idea? This is going to price so many people out of getting this certification. It is frankly, it's mind-boggling to me because I can't see that happening. And here's the, let's look here. Okay, they don't include in here any masks. Okay, so they obviously don't mean this to be something that you would buy this for like a classroom of people, or you'd buy it for your school for all of the teachers to use, because there's no mask here. This is meant to be a single person, single use item, according to what they're saying here. Because if it was meant to be used by multiple people, they would have that. Now, here's another thing. Part of my test that I have to look at for a skills check has you using a CPR mask. So do they want me to send you a CPR mask also that you have to use? So that's more expense out of my pocket. Now we've just made it $220 per person to get this done. Let's put that in perspective. When I had an ACLS instructor on my staff and I was doing ACLS skills checks, I charged $200 for an ACLS skills check. And that was a several hour long evolution. That was a lot more expensive equipment to have. And that was having an actual licensed nurse coming in here, paying for her skill and her knowledge to teach this. And I've seen ACLS skills checks as high as $350. Okay. I can see paying that for something that high level. Okay. I cannot see paying that, and I cannot see justifying that for something that is this level. I don't see it. I don't see it. And let's put the final point in here. We are a training site in Virginia. The state of Virginia right now, if you are a daycare provider, if you're a child care provider for young children, if you work in a health clinic for a school, you have to have what's called MAT training, medication administrative training. The prerequisite for that is you have to have CPR and first aid training, which includes hands-on practice with the epinephrine auto-injecting pen. Again, this is not including that in the kit. So how many people now are going to buy this kit or get this kit from a training center somewhere, and let's say they get it from a training center out in, I don't know, another state that doesn't have that requirement, and the person there doesn't know that you can't do this without the epinephrine auto-injector pen. Well, then they're going to go to their MAT class and say, oh, yeah, I never saw that before. I didn't use that in my last class. And now all of a sudden we're going to have an issue with licensing, an issue with the acceptance of this class as being a prerequisite for the MAT training. I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't think this is a worthwhile thing. I think, in my own opinion, I think this is a money grab. And the Heart Association, I think, needs to rethink this product. They need to rethink the marketing around this product. They need to rethink what's included in this product and who the audience actually is for this, because it is obviously not anybody who, number one, has a budget to work with, and number two, needs this for an actual profession of some kind. So this doesn't hit or click any boxes. This is just, it's just not good, in my own opinion. It's not good. So, Heart Association, do better, please. This is not it. This really is not it. This is extremely expensive. And if you want more people to be able to have training, this is not the way to do it.